Okay, we are moving on to Module 2, Initial Manuscript. So let's click on Module 2, Objective. The objective is to prepare your manuscript according to the author submission guidelines for your chosen journal. So here are a couple resources. Understanding Author Instruction, that's from YouTube. This is a helpful website for later in your career, not for use in this course, and I'll show you what it is. Proofreading and editing professionals. So there's lots of sites like this on the internet that you can go and pay someone to proofread and edit your paper. Once you're graduated, there's really nothing wrong with that. They typically just give you feedback and you pay them, and that's it. I really don't want you to use it for this course. You've already written your paper or your manuscript. We're going to do a peer review so that y'all can proofread and edit each other's. But just remember that you can do that sometime later. The initial manuscript assignment detail. So this one's pretty straightforward. Prepare your manuscript according to the author submission guidelines for your chosen journal. So review the author submission guidelines for your chosen journal. So, you've already chose your journal. So go to the site where that I showed you before. So I'm just going to go to a journal website. So here I chose to use the International Journal of Nursing Studies. This is a nice journal. Original research and scholarship about healthcare delivery, organization, management, policy, research, workforce, all different kinds of things. So go always to the left, and most likely there'll be a tab over here, Guide for Authors. View guide online, or you can download it in PDF, but I'm going to just view it online. Wow, that looks kind of confusing. So let's look at the PDF. So, this is 16 pages. So it starts out just talking about the journal. Here it gives you the audience: nurses, midwives, educators, administrators, researchers in all area of nursing. That's interesting. This is talking to you about the abstracting and indexing. You have your editorial board, and it is what I like to see. UK, USA, Ireland, Australia. So there's a nice little spread of people there. Okay, so here's the guide for authors. So introduction. Let's see. That's just a little explanation. So here they have different types of requirements for different types of papers, and that's pretty much common. So a research paper, we didn't do letter to the editor, no. Editorials, no. What you did was a review. And so that can be 2,000 to 7,000 words. That's a big range there. So then it just gives you, starts talking about, they publish reviews and broad literature reviews. So that's really what you do. They focused on systematic reviews, or broad literature review. And so that's the integrative review that you did. Every one of these submissions has to have a letter to the editor. Let's see. General guidelines and preferred article type. So let's see what they have. Submission system. So this one tells you where to go submit it. It gives you the website. Before you begin, it talks about ethics, reporting guidelines, registration of your study, but that's not what we're doing. Informed consent, patient details, copyright, multiple, redundant, or concurrent publication. So that's really a rule that all of the journals have, and that goes for journals and presentations, anything that you can only submit it one place at a time. So, and then you can't also submit and publish the same article more than once. So for example, I'm going to submit here to the International Journal of Nursing Studies, and I can't submit it anywhere else until I get a decision from them. So if the decision's no, they don't want it, then I can go on to the next journal. If the decision's yes, then I stay with this one. But you can't submit it to 5 different ones at one time. So it's just talking about conflict of interest, the funding source. So finally here, it gets to the author checklist. And then you can even click on it and you'll have it. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so that's a nice little Word document. So it talks about the title page. This is exactly what the title page should look like. This is exactly what the manuscript, the cover letter, reporting guideline checklist. We're not doing that. So, I mean, it basically just goes and tells you exactly what you need to do, exactly what your paper needs to look like for them to accept it as a something that they want to evaluate. You know, is it important to follow their guidelines? Yes. If you don't, then it just gives the impression that you're sloppy or you don't care. So I just, when I do mine, I do it exactly the way that they say it. Even sometimes it'll be a different format, like for the references. So they might use the medical one, or there's Boston one. There's all different kinds of formatting. And so if they want it in the medical one, then you look that up and you have to put out all your stuff in that type of format. So it is a strong encouragement to do what they've asked you to do. If not, they just kind of look at it and it already kind of gets on their nerves before they've even started it. So I would just advise not to go outside of their guidelines. So format your manuscript based on the guidelines for your chosen journal, and then upload your newly formatted manuscript into Canvas as an assignment by the due date, which is June 18th. And that's it. And so I'll have the week before June 18th, we'll have a optional WebEx if you would like to come ask questions or get clarification on anything. If not, that's okay. In the meantime, let me know if you need anything and we'll get you fixed up.